Welcome dear learners, this is Srishti Tamrakar from Department of Commerce and Management. In today's session, we will focus on the channels of distribution. We are going to explore a critical component of marketing strategy that bridges the gap between production and consumption. In the vast machinery of commerce, how exactly does a product made in a factory end up in your home? It is not merely transportation, it is a complex structure of relationships and negotiations. This session will unravel the mechanisms, functions, and classification of these essential pathways. Let us begin a explanation of the place element in the marketing mix. So, let us outline a roadmap for this session. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to clearly understand the concept of distribution channels and why they are vital to market success. We will move beyond the definition to analyze the seven specific functions. These channels performs ranging from information flow to risk taking. Furthermore, we will distinguish between conventional and non-conventional channel classifications, providing you with the framework to categorize different market structures. Finally, we will evaluate complex systems such as vertical, horizontal, and multi channel marketing systems using real world examples like Reliance Fresh and Samsung. Let's get started. We begin by situating a topic within the broader context of marketing. You are likely familiar with the four P's of marketing mix. While product, price, and promotion often get the spotlight, place is the third P, and it is arguably the most critical dimension for actualizing sale. Why is place considered so important? Simply put, a desired product has no value if it is not where the customer needs it when they need it. Place mix involves the channel of distribution. It is the vehicle that ensures the smooth flow of goods and services from the manufacturer into the hands of customers. Without this flow, the most innovative product is essentially stranded. Therefore, when we talked about place, we are talking about accessibility and the facilitation of purchase. So, how do we formally define this concept? According to Philip Kotler, a seminal figure in marketing, marketing channels are sets of independent organizations involved in the process of making a product or service available for use or consumption. I want you to pay close attention to the phrase independent organizations. This implies that a channel is not always a single corporate entity. It is often a collaboration of different business that are wholesaler, retailer, agents working in a sequence. It is the process of availability. This definition highlights that distribution is not a static state but a dynamic process involving multiple stakeholders working to bridge the gap between production and the final user. Now, we might ask, do intermediaries just move boxes? The answer is the resounding no. Distribution channels perform a variety of complex functions. Let us examine the first two. First, they help in the flow of information. Think of the channels as a two-way street. Not only does it moves products forward, but it also moves data backward. Distribution channels facilitates the smooth flow of necessary informations regarding the product and the brand to the customer. Conversely, they provide market intelligence back to the manufacturer. Second, they help in promotion. Channel intermediaries are often the one executing the persuasive communication strategies. Have you ever walked into a store and sees a special offer or a display? That is the channel intermediary at work. They help in attracting customers, though various offers and on ground activities, effectively acting as the extended arm of the manufacturer's marketing department. Moving on the third and the fourth function, negotiation and ordering. Consider the complexity of pricing a product across different regions. This brings us to negotiation. Negotiation between channel intermediaries is crucial in determining the final price, discount, allowances, and offers. It also establishes the profit margin for the intermediaries themselves. This function helps in assessing the right channel member and selecting those who are aligned with the manufacturer's goal. Fourth, they facilitate ordering. How does a factory know how much to produce? Channel intermediaries helps the placing orders that reflects actual market demand. They determine the level of product requirement at various marketplaces, ensuring that supply matches demand without creating excessive supply or shortage. The final three functions deals with the tangible and financial realities of trade. Fifth, channel determines financial requirements. Placing a product in the market requires capital. Funds must be acquired and allocated to finance inventories at different levels of the channel. The intermediaries often shoulder the burden of holding this stock, thereby financing the process. Sixth, there is the involvement of risk. Business is inherently risky and channel members absorb much of this. Risks include the potential for damage during storage, spoilage, especially for perishable goods, overstocking, or facing states of uneven demand. By taking ownership, intermediaries insulate the manufacturer from some of these fluctuations. Finally, there is the physical position of goods. This is the most visible function. Marketing channels direct the actual flow of goods from the manufacturer to the ultimate consumer. This transfer of ownership signifies that goods are physically possessed by various intermediaries along the chain before they reach you. Let us take a brief moment to recap this section. We have established that distribution channels are not passive pipelines. They are active participants that gather information, promote products, negotiate terms, manage orders, finance inventories, assumes risk, and physical handle goods. Each functions add value to the product, justifying the existence of the intermediary. Now that we understand what channels do, let us look at how they are structured. Broadly, trade channels are classified into two categories: conventional channels and non conventional channels. Conventional channels are often referred to as non integrated channels. In this traditional setup, the manufacturer, wholesaler, and retailer are separate, independent business entities. They are linked loosely and their roles are fragmented. Each entity is essentially trying to maximize its own profit, sometimes even at the expense of the system as a whole. Conventional channels are further divided into direct and indirect types. Direct channels involve no intermediaries, while indirect channels engage middlemen. Let's break down the tiers of the conventional channels option for consumer goods. We measure conventional channels by levels, which indicate the number of intermediaries between the producer and the consumer. First, we have the zero level channel, also known as direct marketing. This is the shortest route. Here, the manufacturer sells directly to the ultimate customer. Why would a firm choose this? Since there are no intermediaries, the manufacturer retain the overall profit. Furthermore, customer can often get products at suitable prices because there are no markups added by middlemen. Telemarketing and e-marketing are prime example of this efficient method. Next is the one level channel. This involves a single mediator standing between the manufacturer and the customer. This mediator could be a retailer, a broker, or a distribution agency. Manufacturers often opt for this if they lack the capital to develop their own sales force but still want a relatively direct connection to the market. As we add more layers, we reach the two-level channel. This involves two intermediaries, typically a wholesaler and a retailer. The primary advantage here is geographical reach. With wholesaler breaking bulk and retailers servicing local areas, a manufacturer can achieve wider coverage that would be impossible to manage alone. Now, finally, the third level channel, the longest conventional route. This involves agents, wholesalers, and retailers. While this facilitates the flow of goods into deep, hard to reach market, it comes with a downside. Can you guess what that might be? It is the price acceleration because profit is shared among three different members: the agent, the wholesaler, and the retailer. The final product price becomes relatively high for the ultimate customer. To recap conventional channels, we move from zero level, which offer direct control and profit retention, up to three level systems. As we add levels, we generally increase market coverage and convenience, but we also increase the final price and distance between the manufacturer and the consumer. We now shift our focus to non-conventional or integrated channels. Unlike the fragmented nature of conventional channels, these networks have a concrete line of operation. They work in an integrated, cooperative way to optimize resources and gain efficiency. The goal here is not just individual profit but system wide performance. We will classify these into three main types: vertical channels, horizontal marketing system, and multi channel marketing system. Let's start with vertical channel. In this system, the flow of merchandise is directed with full integration. The defining characteristics of vertical channels are professional management and centered administration. Why adopt this structure? The aim is to achieve operating economies and maximum market impact. By coordinating technically, promotionally, and managerially, the channel members work as a unified team rather than competitors. They have a rationalized approach, aiming to get the maximum benefit from the invested capital. Vertical channels come in three variants: corporate, administrative, and contractual. First is the corporate vertical channel. This is where the entire channel flow is operated under single ownership. Production and distribution are controlled by one organization. This model allows for complete control. The company can dictate quality, pricing, and logistics without negotiating with outsiders. However, it is highly capital intensive, requiring huge investment in infrastructure. A perfect real example is Reliance Fresh in India. Reliance Retail Limited manages everything. They procure agricultural produce directly from farmers. They own the collection centers. They handle the cold storage and transportation, and they sell it through their own Reliance Fresh store. Because of this single ownership, Reliance ensures efficient supply chain management and quality control, though it requires a massive investment in assets like warehouses and logistics. Second, we have administered vertical channels. Unlike the corporate model, this is not based on ownership. Instead, independent members are integrated by the sheer power of a dominant brand. Here, manufacturers provide support in terms of promotion, pricing, and branding. This common platform unifies the system. Consider Hindustan Unilever Limited does not own the thousands of local kirana stores that sell its soap. However, HUL is an administered channel leader. It provides distributors and retailers with promotional schemes, display units, and the massive pull of brands like Lux and Surf Excel. This strong trade corporation allows independent retailers to compete effectively, unified by HUL's brand leadership. rather than a legal contract of ownership. The third type is the contractual vertical channel. Here, channel members are independent but are linked by legal contracts to perform specific functions. They join forces to achieve economies of scale that they could not achieve alone. There are three forms of this. First, wholesaler sponsored, where a wholesaler organizes independent retailers to help them compete. Second, retailer cooperatives, where a group of retailers organize a new business entity to carry out wholesaling and production, sharing the profit. Retailer cooperatives, where a group of retailers organize a new business entity to carry out wholesaling and production and also share the profit. Third one is franchisee. This is the most common form. A franchisor means the supplier allows a franchisee to handle a specific product or service under. Third is franchisee. This is the most common form. A franchisor means the supplier allows a franchisee, the dealer, to handle a specific product or service under strict conditions. This can cover a single product or an entire business format. Moving away from vertical integration, we encountered the horizontal marketing system, or we also call as HMS. This is also known as symbiotic marketing. HMS arises when two or more unrelated companies combine their resources to exploit a marketing opportunity. Why would competitors or unrelated firms collaborate? Often, an individual company is afraid of the risk involved in venturing into a new market alone, or perhaps they lack specific resources. Let's take an example of Starbucks and Tata Global Beverages in India. Starbucks brought its global brand and coffee expertise. Tata brought its deeper local knowledge, sourcing capabilities, and real estate assets. By joining forces horizontally, they reduce risk and achieve an immediate strong market presence that neither might have achieved as early on their own. Finally, we have the multiple channel marketing system. This is an effort by a single organization to reach customer segments using two or more marketing channels simultaneously. In today's fragmented market, one channel is rarely enough. A company might sell directly to consumers while also using wholesalers. For example, look at Samsung. You can buy a Samsung phone directly from their official website. You can also buy it from a Samsung brand store, but you can also find the exact same phone at independent retailers or a large format stores like Chroma and Reliance Digital. This approach maximizes availability. It ensures that whether a customer prefers online shopping or physical browsing, the product is within reach. It improves customer reach and reduces dependence on one single distributor. Let us summarize the key takeaways. We established that place is the dimension of the marketing mix that ensures product availability. We analyzed these seven core functions of distribution, noting that intermediaries provide essential services like financing, risk taking, and negotiation. We then distinguish between conventional channels, which are loose collection of independent business, and non conventional or integrated channels. We explored how vertical systems streamline operations through ownership like Reliance, brand power like HUL, or contracts. We saw how horizontal system allows firms like Tata and Starbucks to share risk, and how multi-channel system like Samsung maximize market reach. Understanding these structures allows marketers to select the most efficient path to reach the ultimate customer, ensuring that the right product arrives at right place at right time. This concludes our session on channel of distribution. I encourage you to observe the supply chain of the products you buy this week. Are they coming through a vertical corporate channel or a conventional wholesaler network? Reflecting on this will deepen your understanding of these concepts. We discussed channel of distribution and understood how goods and services move from producer to consumer. I hope this session helped you understand the flow of products in the market. In the next video, we will discuss middlemen in distribution channels, where we will learn about the role, types, and importance of intermediaries in marketing. Till then, revise today's concept. Thank you and see you in the next lecture.